Nimepunguza ile pesa ya watu kurandaranda na kuzunguka. Wanaenda sijui benchmarking, wanaenda sijui kufanya nini, mambo ambayo hayana faida kwa wananchi wa Kenya.
Hello everyone, this is Ninja Collect from Lightcast TV. So I'll go straight to it. Concerns abound over Kenya's huge delegation to the 28th conference of the party's COP28, given that the government's blatant pledge to uphold austerity policies amid a ballooning cost of living. So according to a statement from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, detailing the list of participants, Kenya ranks the 12th with the most delegates. According to the report from the United Nations, it shows that Kenya has 763 delegates in attendance out of the total of 97,000 from 195 nations. And of this, it's confirmed that 368 are party delegates, while 397 are just overflow delegates. According to reports that we've had, the delegates who went for the COP28 from Kenya, those in attendance were none other than President William Ruto, First Lady Rachel Ruto, Second Lady Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua, Prime CS Cabinet Musalia Mudavadi, Environment and Forestry CS Soipan Tuya, and Attorney General Justin Muturi. Other CSs who were also privy to the delegation of COP28 are Rebecca Miano for Trade, Njuguna Ndung'u, who is the CS for Treasury, Aisha Jumwa, CS for Public Service. We have Alice Wahome for Water, Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, State House Spokesperson Hussein Mohammed, and KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli. And also, if you are keen to look or follow the COP28 summit, since it started on November 30th, which is scheduled to end on December 12th, we have 13 governors who were present at the COP28 who went as part of the Kenyan delegation. And these are governors, senators, MPs, State House staff, principal secretaries. We have also other government officials who are present for the COP28 summit, advisors, and also researchers who are also in attendance. So you remember that back then, this year, the head of public service, who is Felix Kosgei, in the month of September, he opened the lid on the worrying wastage in the public service and the glaring misuse of public funds by government officials. This head of public service actually ordered the immediate stoppage of unjustified foreign or domestic travel and directed all government officials or government offices to hold their retreats within the capital, Nairobi. All finance directors in all ministries were also directed to revise their annual budgets and present the budget cuts for reallocation. So the controller of budget had actually released a report that exposed wastage in the government, as billions of shillings were being paid to government workers as allowances and air tickets. According to the report, last 9 months alone, the government spent a whopping 20.37 billion Kenya shillings on travel, with domestic travel gobbling at 1.4 Kenya billion shillings and foreign travel taking up to 6.3 billion Kenya shillings. And you also remember that in the month of October, President Ruto had subsequently said that his government has reduced travel expenditure up to 11 billion Kenya shillings.
Nimepunguza ile pesa ya watu kurandaranda na kuzunguka. Niliona jana watu wa magazeti wanasema nimepunguza milioni 500. Hapana, si milioni 500. Nimepunguza bilioni 11.
he had directed that the travel budgets for all three arms of government be slashed by 50%.
Tunapunguza pesa ya travel ya all government departments and all sectors. Tutapunguza by 50%. Pesa ya judiciary, 50%. Pesa ya legislature, 50%. Pesa ya executive, ya mambo ya travel. Ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba hawa wananchi tunapunguza budget yetu, tusiwe tunakopa pesa ambayo inatumika kwa njia ambayo haifai. Wanaenda sijui benchmarking, wanaenda sijui kufanya nini, mambo ambayo hayana faida kwa wananchi wa Kenya. Tumesema safari itakayogharimiwa na wananchi wa Kenya iwe ni safari italeta pesa, italeta waegezaji, ama ilete manufaa kwa wananchi wa Kenya.
There has been a lot of uproar on social media, especially on Twitter. People were actually making noise, especially on the office of the First Lady, whereby the First Lady had to take about 13 personnel from her office, and there was this specific office that trolled the social media, specifically Twitter, the office of faith diplomacy, head of faith diplomacy. You're asking questions on what faith diplomacy means. Ruto's wife, who is the First Lady, had made a clear-cut statement saying that the faith diplomacy is meant to empower women. That remains to be seen. But what we know about Rachel Ruto, the First Lady, she is doing a lot in matters to do with empowering women in matters table banking, and also empowering the PWDs, those who are the less fortunate. She is doing a lot to ensure, especially those who have been affected by the ongoing floods. She is helping mostly the women who are not able to make a living for themselves. She is empowering them. But about this faith diplomacy, comment down there and tell me what you think this office does. So we also have, still on this subject of the COP28 delegation from Kenya, we have the digital strategist, Dennis Itumbi, who made a statement regarding the delegation of the Kenyan COP28, which, according to reports, as we have said, was around 763. But Dennis Itumbi refuted those reports and said that President William Ruto had traveled with a delegation of just 51, who were just essential staff. He had clarified that the president was exercising austerity measures and he was only traveling with 51 essential staff. So he said that President Ruto is serious about cutting down travel costs. He asked for the list for the people who are going for the Dubai COP28. He had first gotten a list of 129. He asked it to be cut. It came back as 144, according to Dennis Itumbi. Then, according to Dennis Itumbi, he also said that President Ruto instructed that list to be cut down to below 60. And at the end of the day, only 51 essential staff traveled across the government. So the clarification came after those reports listed that President Ruto traveled with his wife, his children, who we have Charlene Ruto, who was the patron. We have June Ruto is the protocol, and Stephanie Ruto, who was part of the staff. We've mentioned everybody who was in the itinerary for the delegation for the COP28. And, well, is it true? Do you think that is true? So senators were also present. Senators traveling alongside the president were Ali Kibwana from Lamu, Wakoli David from Bungoma, Moses Kajwang from Homa Bay. And you remember that President Ruto stated that he had reduced travel costs by 11 billion and not $500 million, as alleged by other media outlets. So, according to President Ruto, we quote verbatim. Let me quote verbatim what he said. This is what he said. We have said the travels that shall be funded by the people of Kenya should be a travel that will bring monetary value. That is number one. Number two, bring investors. And number three, other benefits to the people of Kenya. That is bilateral agreements, making agreements with other countries so that Kenyans can go apply for jobs in other countries, and investments as well. So Ruto's directive in October followed the concern about foreign trips he has made under 1.5 years he had been at the office. So just 1 year, and Kenyans have noted that immediately after the COP28 summit at the UAE, Dubai, President Ruto went straight to India for other investment, bilateral talks, and education with the government of India. So what do you think? Do you think this is just pure lip service? And from the COP28, Kenya has bagged over 4.4 USD billion, which will be used to ensure that the climate action in Kenya is actually in effect in matters to do with energy, slicing down the geothermal fuel, bringing in wind energy, and ensuring that Kenya is actually becomes on the global stage in matters to do with climate action. But about this COP28 delegation, there's so much talk around it. What do you think? Do you think that President Ruto is actually serious, or is it just pure lip service? Send us your comments on Lightcast TV on Facebook, Lightcast TV on YouTube. My name is Ninja Kolek, and see you on our next video.